Thanks, Marcus. Welcome, everyone. It's my great pleasure and honor to present to you today Winmore. Winmore is cloud-based bid and tender management software built for and focused solely on freight brokers and freight forwarders. Its sole mission in life is to enable logistics providers to better qualify shipper RFPs, gain top-down process visibility, and leverage collaboration tools so commercial, product, and pricing teams can work together on effective sourcing and pricing strategies. Winmore was developed to address a fundamental truth in logistics, that the RFP response process is done today mostly manually between global players using spreadsheets and email, and for the most part completely disconnected from any centralized control, with all the errors and bottlenecks and loss of visibility that model brings. So let's contrast that old way of responding to RFPs with the modern Winmore approach. So I'm currently logged in as the bid desk manager for a large freight broker. And I'm responsible, again, for that process of responding to RFPs and incoming bids as quickly and accurately as I possibly can. We want to grow the business, increase gross margin, and sell the most profitable transportation services. So tons of responsibility on my shoulders and my team's shoulders. So Winmore helps us do all of this by acting as a central control mechanism, kind of a bid processing hub, if you will. It helps manage all the steps, get all the answers, helps us submit the bid on time, and it makes sure the entire team is in alignment throughout that entire process. So let's start by taking a look at the organization's bid portfolio as a whole. I think this is one of the most compelling views in the entire technology. So it's a great example of how Winmore provides unprecedented visibility. We're looking at the bid portfolio, the bid pipeline. So it's an accurate depiction of all bids in progress, displayed in one place in these easy to understand information cards. So imagine trying to get this sort of view with the Excel and email based model. Impossible. So in this particular case, each card represents a bid and includes important details about the response, such as the bid owner, total value, and progress on underlying tasks to actually move it into subsequent stages. So notice that each card is organized into these buckets. So these are the stages of the workflow. We have bids that are in the process of qualification, analysis, sourcing and submission, negotiation, and ultimately closed post-mortem, where you can actually capture data back in about that win. So let's open a bid that's currently in the qualification stage. So I'm going to go ahead into the American Tire Distributors. This is where we see all the stages and tasks organized in that same linear fashion. Progress bar on the top shows us exactly how far we have to go to the next stage, individual tasks therein that we must complete to move. So we also see access, ready access embedded contextually of analytics and access, fingertip access to previous engagement with this shipper. So this is how we help you better qualify and respond to those bids. And in this case, we can see underneath the qualification stage, I've got about 3 tasks done, so I've got 2 to go in order to move this through its tasks. So let's go into the qualify no-go, go or no-go. So I'm going to let's complete this and move it to the next stage. So tasks are more than simply checkbox items. They're actionable, interactive screens that contain all of the information specifically designed to facilitate completing that task. So for the sake of brevity, let's say that we've actually gone through our qualification meetings and we're going to go ahead with a go for this. So we've met all of our different criteria, we've got all of this information, so I'm going to complete this task. But notice I'm barred from doing so. So this is how we help enforce governance and help enforce policy. So you can actually have critical tasks that are gated with required fields, or in this case, I actually have to seek approval from a higher authority, my boss, the head of the bid desk, Henry Turner. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, submit this task for approval. And notice I don't have to turn away and go to the phone or the email or these other highly distractive means of communication. We're actually sending this through the system in context directly through Winmore to our collaborative user. So we can't be completely confident all the time that that user will be at their desk waiting for my approval request. And in this case, maybe Henry is out in a warehouse inspection or the golf course, but he doesn't have to rush back to the desk. We don't have to wait for him. He has fingertip access to Winmore on his phone. So we'll go into this agenda. Everything is the same data, but adjusted for the form factor. And there's our request for that approval. So we're, again, sharing all of the same data coming from the cloud. But in this case, I'm a collaborative user, so I don't have access to all of the whistles and bells. I just have access to what I need to do to actually perform this approval. So I'm going to approve same, and I'm going to complete this task. So we do so, I can close that. But not unlike real life, let's say I have additional criteria. I want the team to make sure they include some additional pricing discount information in that response. So I'll send that. So what did I just do? Well, you probably figured it out. I actually was collaborating with another user. I was playing the role of two different people. But the system is entirely in real time and completely in sync. So notice that green check mark is there. And when I go to the conversation feature, we can also see Henry's requirement of me. So the conversation feature supports this informal way that different users will actually work. So in kind of closing, we want to also make sure that everybody understands. While we're going through this, let's go ahead and complete that last task. And we can see now that we've connected the dots. We also, while we're going through the bid pipeline, we're amassing data that we can bring to bear. Notice the card is now moved into the next column. We can bring it to bear for analysis so that we can do things like analyze historic performance across OD pairs. And Winmore is inherently also extensible. So here we've also integrated with FreightWaves sonar to help our pricing teams. So we want to make sure you come by our booth. We're facing the sonar booth. Come and find us and we'll give you a more in-depth demo. But it's been my great pleasure to present to you.